Hi, it's Danduw 3D back again with another video where I'm just kind of showing off a time lapse of how I do blockouts. I have kind of like a pretty fundamental moral on showing off my kind of time lapse videos, especially at the blockout stage. It's something I want to show more on this channel because I feel like in general, you know, you go on ArtStation and you see these like beautiful pieces of work all the time, but then you never really see like the midpoint. And I think hilariously enough, especially with character art, the first like 60% of when you're working on it, it just looks really bad. Especially the blockout, like you will have a pretty shitty model for the first like at least half of it. So I don't know. In a way, I kind of think back to when I was a uni student, and I kind of wished I could have seen this kind of stuff to see, oh look, yeah, the model can look good in the end, hopefully. We'll see. So yeah, this is me just showing off the blockout. By the end of the video, you'll see like the final blockout and me moving into ZBrush. I don't really start on any fine details in ZBrush. It's just me maybe doing some quick cleanup and moving around things so it just looks nice. But yeah, no. So I've got a few things noted down that I wanted to talk about in this video. Nothing too deep. There is one kind of deep conversation I do want to talk about that's been on my mind a lot, but that'll come later. Yeah, so, you know, one big thing I wanted to kind of announce, there's not really an announce, it's just a thing I'm doing. So I'm going to be starting to do talks at schools now. Nothing like official, like I mean, by that I mean like I'm going to like some universities and some colleges in the next few weeks and months. That I've been talking with a few teachers about just coming in and just talking about my experiences. Pretty much like what you guys have seen from this YouTube channel, but just maybe a bit more condensed and a bit more well-rehearsed. But then also on the other hand, you know, this video that I'm doing right now that I'm recording, I've re-recorded this about like 10 times. So, you know, hopefully when I start doing my talks, I don't go, hey guy, fuck. Hey guy, fuck, for the first like 10 minutes. But yeah, no, to be honest, I feel like the reason I did this channel at all is because I wanted to get better at like my speaking skills. This has all been kind of working up towards doing in-person, you know, tutorials or talks. So yeah, wish me luck. And you know, I don't know what I will do, but maybe I'll record some of them and post them online. Probably not facing towards the class, more just facing towards me and showing off my presentation. Maybe it could be interesting to see how I'm like with that, if you're interested in more of what I do. But yeah, so really excited about that. And it goes into another thing I want to talk about is about, you know, my social anxiety. I say that very lightly because I know that some people have it very bad. And I'm not trying to put myself on any kind of, limelight here of saying, oh, well, I find it hard to socialize, or I find it hard to talk in groups. But it's something I've been battling with for a while, and it's something that I've been trying to get better at. And I think it's a big reason why I'm doing this channel. And thank you guys for watching and being so supportive. Like the overall support I've been receiving has been really, really nice. So thank you guys. But yeah, no, I've been doing this channel because I want to get better at talking. So hopefully in the next few years, you'll or however long, you'll see a better grasp on talking, which would be good. So watch me as I grow. Oh my God, isn't that fun? But yeah, no. So yeah, I'm really excited about doing more tutorials and about doing talks. And you know, as someone that kind of fears a lot of social conversation, like just talking to people in general, this YouTube channel has been really helpful. So thank you guys. I'm gonna get so emotional. Yeah, one other thing I really wanted to talk about is about how I think now that I'm realizing the market of people that are watching my videos, you know, I'm getting some really, really talented people joining and watching my videos, but also I'm getting people that are like have just started using ZBrush or just started using Maya or 3D software in general, and are looking towards this for kind of a beam of light. Oh, that sounds stupid. A bit. What's a better word? Just inspiration, right? And I can relate to that, especially when I started. I used to watch videos like this and just sit there like a podcast, pretty much just listening to what people in the industry really thought of stuff. And it seems helpful. So I think, yeah, a big thing I want to move towards, especially in content, is just talking about like, how to get yourself a job, or another segueing into what I was talking about before, just understanding social etiquette a bit. There's a few stories I do want to talk about in the future about genuinely understanding what not to say and what to say to people in the industry, especially when you're starting off. For anyone that's looking for jobs right now, I'm sure you've been told to go on LinkedIn and make contacts, quotation mark there. You message random people that you've never talked to ever and ask to be their contact on LinkedIn. I used to do that a lot, and some of them worked really well, and also there were some situations where I looked like a fucking idiot. And I definitely got slapped in the face a few times by people online when I realized that I wasn't even trying to talk to them like humans, just wanting to be their contact, which is a bit silly. And I see a lot of students thinking that's what you're supposed to do. Either way, I think I'll probably go over that in a video in the future, and I've got a few things planned for that. I think you guys will be excited for that, I hope. But yeah, no, I'm that should be a really, really fun topic in the next video. Next thing I've got noted down is a suggestion by a friend, a very dear friend of mine, and he wanted me to talk about Skibidi toilet. So I don't really have an opinion on Skibidi toilet. I'm so sorry. I know you guys are here to see genuine content, hopefully. So I've been shown Skibidi toilet a lot recently, and working at Face Punch, and seeing this stuff being made, I think in Gary's mod, right? Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think the first time I saw it, I will be really transparent. First time I saw it, I was like, this is kind of cringe. But for all the Skibidi toilet fans out there, which I'm sure all of you guys are, I respect it. I think it's pretty cool. I think back to when I was like 12, 13, I used to binge watch machinima videos and like weird Roblox edits of like Gary's mod edits of people being exploded, doing weird like tell-lols, random Gary's mod kind of stuff, and I was obsessed with that kind of stuff when I was younger. And that's the exact same market of like the same age market they're watching Skibidi toilet, so I can respect it. It's kind of like how I felt with Fortnite when it came out. I was like, oh my god, this game for kids. Dude, I was obsessed with Minecraft so much. My life was just Minecraft when I was like 13, 12. The same way that there are kids that live and breathe Fortnite. I mean, good for them. Do you know what made me? I'm going on a rant because I have so much more to talk about. I need to speed this up. I remember I was at a Costa Coffee and I saw a group of kids having a birthday party that was Fortnite themed. And I remember my first reaction was being like, oh, that's kind of cringe. But then like after a few seconds, I realized these kids are having like the best time of their lives, and their mum came out with this like Fortnite themed cake. And I was like, that's fucking adorable. Why don't I get a fucking Minecraft cake? I didn't get a Minecraft cake. I'd take a Minecraft cake now. Why don't I get that? I've never been given a Minecraft cake. I'd take a fucking Fortnite cake if I was given one. It'd be cool. But yeah, I will stop that conversation right there. But yeah, that's my really cool opinion about Skibidi toilet. I think it's cool. Good for them. But yeah, no, the big topic, this is such a whiplash of topic change. But for anyone that's online and hasn't been living under a rock on Twitter or X, there's been a lot of conversation about like Burnout recently. I don't want to discuss like the person or the people that have kind of like started the conversation, because I think that's just been outdone, like just been overdone. Everyone talks about it. But if you want a kind of brief summary of it, a lot of people were trying to work out, should you be overworking yourself, to get yourself that job, especially when you're starting off, or should you be being very comfortable with a 9-to-5 and not over stressing yourself with doing crazy amount of hours, especially when you're working on your portfolio or when you start your first job. And I'm really nervous talking about this kind of conversation because realistically, I don't think you should be taking my advice or opinions. I think I'm more just saying it for my own mental health. That I think it's worth saying my views on it. But again, I don't think you should be listening to me and saying, well, that's right. I'd listen to Danduw. He's the one that knows what's going on. in this topic, because again, it's so relative to your situation. And I think for my situation, I was very privileged with having some amazing support systems around me that kind of pulled me up from my bootstraps, especially when I wanted to get a job or when I was just learning. I had some great people around me. So yeah, I know it's very different for some people. Either way, my main issue is that I'm seeing a spectrum of different views where some people are saying you should only do a 9 to 5. And when it hits 5, you should be stopping and you should be going home and doing your hobbies. You should be playing games and not focusing on, overworking yourself. And there's the other side that are kind of saying, and I'm talking about the extremes here, the very extreme ones, because a lot of time I think most people aren't being extreme with it. They're being quite logical about it. So those people aren't included in this conversation. The other extreme is saying, oh, no, you should be working so much. You should be pushing yourself so much. It's just how it be, bro. If you're not pushing yourself every day, you're not going to get a job in the industry. And that's a really conflicting conversation between the two opinions, because there's good and bad points to both of those. Because, oh God, I'm so nervous talking about this. Please don't hate me. Please don't cancel me online. This is supposed to be a tutorial channel. I don't know why I'm going into drama. I think it's just... The reason I'm talking about it is because it is a big thing that I want to talk about in my tutorials, and about burnout and about just good work ethic. I'll give you a story, or at least a rundown of my career. I fucking had a great support system around me, but I pushed myself every day. When I was in college, I think I was a bit slowish with work, but I tried to overachieve all the time and did a lot more work than I think the people around me, because I didn't really have too many hobbies. I played games, but then when games were finished, maybe 2 or 3 hours playing games, I would just be straight back to working on something. And then when I got to uni, I developed really bad workaholism to the point where I lost a lot of friendships, relationships with people. Because I made relationships a lot hard. I was really hard to handle when I was in uni, because all I cared about was work. And I think there's a lot of psychological stuff I could go into, but that's not really the point of this video of why I did that. But I really sunk myself mentally into just work, and that's all I cared about. I didn't have any hobbies. I didn't have too many friends. I just a bit of a loser, bro. But I did that all the time, and it did help me get a job. Which is just it's such a stressful conversation, because on one hand it's don't push yourself, and I regret being such a workaholic, but because of being a workaholic, I'm at the place I am now, which is it's such a double-edged sword of on one side, yeah, you should not be working crazily hard, but also on the other side, fuck yeah that I did that, because now I'm here now. Where do I sit on the spectrum of what's the right answer for that? I think it's just finding a nice balance, but again, it's so relative, bro. Dude, if you want to get a job you would really quick, then it probably makes, oh God, I should be saying this. It makes sense to push yourself a crazy amount to try and work on your portfolio to get a job quicker than if you were to do a 9 to 5. Objectively, that is true to some extent, right? You're following me? I'm not cancelled yet. Why am I doing this? I'm not cancelled yet, right? Objectively, if you do more work, that will help you to the position you want to get to, right? If I really, really wanted to get good at, I don't know, face sculpting, I could do a 9 to 5 of learning face sculpting, technically, right? Or I could just work 8 to, I don't know, 11 p.m. for the next few months and be objectively probably better, right? Oh no, but then you get into the whole thing of burnout, bro, and then I know there's going to be arguments of saying, oh, but no, if you do that, then you're going to get burnout, and then you're going to do even less, probably. But that's so relative, bro, because I went through whole of uni fucking working every single day, never, non-stop pretty much, and I didn't really acquire any burnout, but that could have been luck. I did get a bit of burnout, I think, after I got my first job. So, again, that completely contradicts the whole statement. This is what I mean. It's so relative to your situation. And, going on Twitter and hearing everyone's opinions, man, no one's going to tell you what to do except from yourself. If there's any advice I can give, it's just push yourself, if you really want to get to that position, but also don't overwork yourself to the point of killing yourself over stuff or developing mental health or physical problems. Like I will say this, like when I overworked myself, I definitely gained a lot of weight. And also on top of that, I was a lot, like mentally, I was not in a good place. And I definitely regressed in social ability, which is kind of plays into why I'm doing this channel, to get better at that. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what you guys think of it. And I think it is a pressing and interesting conversation. And I want to talk about it in a relaxing way that isn't just everyone at their throats, everyone at each other's throats. Also, that's the end of the time lapse. But yeah, no, thank you so much for watching. And I don't feel like I really rounded up my main points, but I hope that was nice background noise. I feel like at this point it's just like a podcast while you watch a time lapse. But yeah, please like give your views, and if you do, know that like it's all relative. It's all different with each person, and realistically, you know, you're not going to take someone's advice on Twitter and say, okay, now that's what I'm going to do. It all comes down to like your work ethic and what you want to do. And in one case, if you want to do a 9 to 5 and you want to work that amount and then finish at 5 or do even less, right? And you just want to pull it down. Let's say you have a 9 to 5 job and you just want to get home and do like an hour or 2 because that's all you can do. That's okay. But also if you're on the other one where you're like, man, I'm begging to get into this industry. I want to push myself. It might even be toxic. I would not say you should do that. But if that's what you want to do, that's you. And I will not give you... What's the point, man? What's the point of this kind of conversation? I hope, if anything, if the conclusion is confusion, I hope that actually plays into the conclusion that it's a very complex conversation, and so up to you, man. And yeah, either way, I hope this time lapse has been helpful. To conclude on the time lapse, actually, yeah, I want to do more time lapse videos of the ugly parts of me making my models, because I think that's very important, especially when you're learning, because I think sometimes you need to see, especially people in the industry now, that when they're starting off, it is going to look really shitty. They're going to do some pretty like shitty tactics to make their models look good by the end of it, and it's not just this like secret that they're hiding from you. This is how they make their models. So I've always really appreciated seeing time lapses and seeing how people make a shit circle, shit cube into a beautiful piece at the end. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Thank you very much for putting up with me for the last few minutes, and have a good rest of the day. Bye.